Avatar The Way of Water movie review, a box office flop as right now, Sunday, December 18, 1 o'clock. It is projecting just a little less than what they thought it was going to be, but personally I don't think as of right now nothing to worry about. Let's get into this movie review, but make sure you like and subscribe for more. After a long decade, Avatar The Way of Water is finally here as the sequel to the 2009 smash hit Avatar. Like the original, it is a big screen spectacle that excels in visually striking CGI. James Cameron has always been a filmmaker who likes to test the limits of his craft. Although the visuals don't quite make it easy to forgive the film's shortcomings, there are plenty in the 3 long hours of the runtime. More than 10 years after the events of the false film, Jack Sully and his wife Nyatari, their sons Nadiam and Lo AK, I hope I'm saying those right, and their daughter Tuck now resides on the planet Pandora. Additionally, Jack and Kiri are Kiri's guardians, played by Sigourney Weaver. She is the daughter of Dr. Grace Augustine, character played by Weaver in the False movie. At False, Jake leads a resistance against the humans, but eventually decides that the best thing for his family is to relocate to a water community on the far end of Pandora. The Navi version of an old foe arrives, determined to hunt down Jake and his family. Even if you spell out every single plot point, Avatar The Way of Water has only so much plot to offer. The basic good versus evil conflict in the movie takes a backseat once again to the director's sharp eyes for visuals. Cameron uses the ocean world to produce some amazing scenes that makes the most of the IMAX and 3D formatting, putting the sheer beauty of Pandora on show once again. James Cameron is a visionary filmmaker, yet there are moments when he works against himself. The film frequently becomes overly focused on the visuals, and the characters end up being little more than an afterthought because of how far the director has pushed the limits with the visuals. Much like the False film, Cameron's screenplay still leaves something to be desired. At least this time around, it wasn't a ripoff of Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves, although there was Costner's Waterworld, with some of the dialogue being awkward and occasionally involuntarily funny. The second half is also specifically dragged down by a subplot involving one of the boards, though to Cameron's credit, it does have some significance to the conclusion. With a lengthy action complex that doesn't compare to Endgame or the Lord of the Rings Battle for Helm's Deep, but is nonetheless excellent. The last act is Cameron's at his very best. The Way of Water, Cameron undoubtedly saves the best for last, with an exciting ending that attempts to have an emotional kickback but falls a little short. The movie is well concluded in the last half, contributing to the creation of a sequel that is at least as good, if not slightly better, than the original. Here's hoping that with the 2 more Avatar movies in the works, Cameron can build on his strengths, like creating visually striking CGI scenes, and do away with the things that don't quite work as well, like his weak screenplay and 2-dimensional characters. James Cameron is among the many great directors who has criticized the MCU and other big budget movies. Although I agree with many of those criticisms, it was James Cameron, Avatar, and Michael Bay's Transformer movies that paved the way for a decade long of movies with a thin plot and over-the-top CGI battle scenes. The greatest way to experience this movie is on the best premium screen in a theater. IMAX, and we went to a grand screen that's a little bit smaller than the IMAX stuff, but still great experience. If you are new here, this is usually the part I kind of go a little bit more into spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie yet and don't want to get spoiled, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. But yeah, if you like the False one, you're gonna like this one as well. It has everything that what the false one had. And like I said, what everyone did like about it, you're gonna find it here as well. However, I was one of those people that didn't like it, so this one I personally didn't really like either. I mean, I think the visuals, just like the original, was 11 out of 10, but again, the characters and the plot was very weak. It was two-dimensional, very predictable and about things, and I do highly recommend watching the original before you're watching this one. There was a lot of things, not a lot of things, but there was some things that, you know, like I questioned about, like, wait a minute, I thought this person was dead, or I thought this person was still alive at the end of the movie. What happened? What's going on? There was like only a good like 10 minutes of, you know, getting you up to speed on everything, but that was it. Like, again, the plot was thin. It didn't give you much background. There was a lot of by the end of the movie, there was a lot of unanswered questions that you didn't get. And my friend Josh, who went with us to watch it, he watched it, the original Avatar movie, you know, a week ago, and even he on some points was kind of confused, and we had to look it up and see. And you know, one very particular one is Kiri, who I didn't really realize that apparently she is the reincarnation of Sigourney Weaver's character from the first movie, and not necessarily her daughter. She died at the end of the last of Avatar, so how did she end up being pregnant and having a daughter? Because she was reincarnated and something. Not quite sure if that's even true. That's what I heard on a Facebook post, you know. And there were just too many things. I thought it was kind of cop out that they brought this Stephen Lang's character, the general, the bad guy from the last one, back. I felt like that was kind of like bringing back Emperor Palpatine. He's a clone, but now but he's an Atari, tall and blue and everything. It made no sense, and they didn't really use that for anything. They still dressed up as like Marines and soldiers carrying around guns and stuff, and they could have easily, it was all plot on them. Again, like the original, the plot was very weak, and if you want to watch this, just watch, you know, those documentaries about the whales. But imagine, you know, a bunch of blue aliens on flying dragons and stuff attack the ships, the whaling ships, and then you pretty much got Avatar: The Way of Water. But yeah, again, the visuals, the CGI was great. Like James Cameron called out Thanos with his face expressions and stuff, and it was actually not that great. And I think James Cameron was right. Avatar: The Way of Water had much better face expressions, because they was actually quite good. And usually in CGI stuff, whether or not it's an animated movie or a video game, the face expressions are terrible. Yeah, and the CGI, a lot of scenes, you know, especially when they get to the water part, world or community, and they're all swimming under the water, and all these other creatures and, you know, fish and stuff are there, and it's actually very beautiful scenes, and the visuals are quite striking. And the movie is worth going to see at the theaters and IMAX and stuff, just for the visuals. But the plot, nah. You know, like this scene right here, this was awesome to see on a big screen. I don't think you can capture that experience, what we saw last night when we watched it on a little TV. I don't care if you got a 80 screen, you know, inch screen TV, you know, it's just not gonna be the same. but yeah, what did you all think about Avatar: The Way of Water? Did it exceed your expectation? Was it better than the original one? Was it a rip-off of Dancing with Wolves again? Let me know what your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Make sure you hit that bell button so you get notified when there's a new episode up. Also, check out the links in the description. There's a lot of cool stuff like the Geeking Around Network website, which is where we at here. You get more articles. Like I did a whole bunch of stuff about James Gunn firing Henry Cavill as Superman and all that debacle. I didn't have time to do a video about about. And you also can find all the videos as well. And there's also a link to the Geek Around March, get t-shirts and hoodies. There are also links to my comic books like Kira Star Wars Story. And if you already read all of that on Webtoons, check out the Kira Star Wars Story Part 2 web novel as well. The next video will be next year, probably. I'm going to do a like Q&A thing. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, whether or not it's about geeking around or Neville Studios, my comic books, or anything, or how I create these YouTube videos and stuff, ask a question in the comments and I'll make a video about all of that. And we did that last time where the false of the year, the false video of the new year, we did a Q&A when Gabby was still here, but I don't think I did it last year. I think I did it one year before, but I don't think I did last year. So there's some things that gonna be changing, and I give an update about this channel and everything. But anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.